In this lecture, we are going to learn about this window over here. It is the variables window, and it shows the variables of the current context of the debugging session. We are going to use these objects over here in order to support us in the explanation. So we have cars which have car parts. Each of them
has an ID and a color.
The door, the seat and the wheel are car parts, and owners can have cars and parkings can have cars parked on them. We are going to use this main function. It has a message which is of type string, just an excuse in order to have a string over here. We have two owners, we have parking, we have a car, the owners own the car, the parking has the car parked, and we start and throttle the car. I haven't paid attention about good ways of writing code because I am trying to explain to you how to debug things using IntelliJ. That's why I have written these things public, because I want it to be fast and easy, but you shouldn't do that in production code. Having told that, well, you can see in here that we can see what the value of message is. It's actually the one in here. And for complex structures, we don't see its value, but we can navigate through it. If we press the right arrow button, we can click the left arrow button in order to collapse. If we want to expand all the nodes, just hit asterisk. And by hitting asterisk again and again, you can expand all the nodes and then explore it very easily. We are going to collapse some of the nodes. You can see here the seats, the wheels, everything you want to know. How many number of doors it has at the very beginning. In addition to that, you can search for things. So, for example, I can search for doors. I can search for wheels. I can search for numbers, but this feature is not very well crafted because you cannot go to the next occurrence. For example, if you hit F3, that is supposed to get you to the next occurrence in other context, it doesn't work in here. Another interesting thing is how to show other data in this window. For example, if we want to know what the size of this message is, or a particular field of this car is, and we want it to be updated in every step of the debugging session. So we have to hit in here, that's called a new watch, and we can do it like this. So as you can see, we can know the length, or we can even know the first door, the color of the first door of the car, and we can see it is red. This is particularly useful if you are in an iteration and you want to know something about an object in each one of the iterations, and you don't want to stop there and having to navigate through the hierarchy of the object. We are going to change the value of message just so you can see that those variables are updated. So you can see it has changed. There is another very useful feature, is that you can copy values. Maybe you have a value here and you want to share with some colleague, or maybe you want to save for later because you want to restart the session in the same place you were. So you can do that by hitting right click and copy value. And if you go to an editor, in my case it will be Vim, but you can choose whatever editor you want and paste it. There you are, you have it there. But there is a thing here. If you do the same thing with an object, you won't see anything, because the objects don't have a custom renderer, and because of that you don't see them here. You only see the reference. So how do you do that? Because
it would come in handy
if you could actually copy the value of an entire object, and maybe you could use a different tool to view it
that is easier to read
or share or save it for later. One of the tricks I have found
is that you can
import JSON and use an object mapper in order to write the value of the object as a JSON string. You only have to import this dependency in your project, and then you open the evaluation window, create an object mapper like this, and the only thing you have to do is write the value as a string of the car and evaluate. And here it is. You can view and you have the value here as a JSON string. The only thing you have to do is right-clicking over it and copy value. And if you open your editor of choice right now, you can save it.
The last thing we are going to see in this lecture
is how to inspect a particular object. Inspecting just means what we are doing right here, but in a different window, and this is very useful because it allows you to have the object in a different physical monitor. If you have a different physical monitor, you can still view this object separately or many objects at the same time you are debugging.